Good evening, everyone. I can see some people popping up on the side of the screen. Kayleen Dillard, I see you, which is great. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see me? I mean, I see me, but hear me? All right, then I know it's working. Awesome. We'll just wait just a couple more minutes to have some more people come in. The reality is that I am recording this and we're going to put a YouTube, an archive on the website. So for any reason, if you need to disconnect or something comes up that you're not able to finish the whole presentation in its entirety, you'll still be able to access it on our website. So that's a great reference to go back and forth to if you need to. So I'm just going to wait just a couple more minutes and see who else joins us. Welcome, Allie and Rachel and Katie. And it looks like we've got Preston. I see my friend Preston. Oh, and I see Tiffany down there. Hi, Joanna. How are you? Or Joan, how are you? And Melissa's joining in. Jenna, Lindsay. Looks like Adeline. Okay, we've got a thank you for taking your time out of your schedule to join in. So like I was saying before, we're going to go ahead and just have this recorded so we can reference it on the website for the future. So what a crazy time that we're in. And I want to start out by saying that I feel so confident with what we have in place to start out the year to keep us and the children safe and healthy. Things are out of our control, obviously, but I just feel everything that we have done this whole summer preparing for our opening has made us so excited and so ready to welcome you and your children back. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with a prayer because I thought this was so perfect to where we are in our lives right now. It says, Father, we are here today to celebrate great success. In a world full of chaos and calamity, we are embracing a moment of triumph in your name and for your glory. Amen. So I just think we're going to dive right in, and I'm going to show you some fun slides that we did today with our new t-shirts, with our new logos, and who is assigned for your child's class. We've had some shifting around due to our own personal schedules with our own kids for schooling. And then we have decided to wear face shields as a teaching staff. And wait to see the face shields that we have to greet your kids every day. So the first one is Miss Kelly, and she is going to be teaching Tuesday, Thursday, 9 o'clock a.m. class, and our enrichment class on Tuesday afternoons in the blue room. And I don't know if you can make that out, but she is a bumblebee. We have Miss Jen and Miss Emily, and they're going to be doing the Tuesday, Thursday, 9-10 a.m. class in the red room. So we've got a giraffe and a ladybug. And then we have Miss Kay and Miss Emily. They're going to be doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 o'clock in the red room. So a penguin has been added. And then Miss Jessie and myself are teaming up again, which is very exciting because a lot of the kiddos that we had last year are going to be in our class. So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9-10 in the blue room. And we have some sheep because we are shepherd's flock. So we got some sheep to be a flock. Miss Alyssa is a sub that was here with us last year, but she is a permanent structure this year. So we have Miss Alyssa, Miss Kelly, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12-20 class in the blue room. We have Miss Kay again with Miss Amanda, who was a sub and did lunch bunch with us, and she is a permanent teacher as well this year. They are going to be doing the Fab 5 in the red room. We've added a little unicorn there with Miss Amanda. And then we have our full day class as well as a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday class. And Miss Dawn, you should recognize, and we've added Miss Melissa. And Miss Erin is out on vacation, so we didn't get her picture. and they will be in the purple room, otherwise known as the old yellow room and nursery. We've converted it into our full day classroom. So we have a dog and a sheep over there. And then lastly, two familiar faces, Miss Amy and Miss Carrie. They are a fox and a sheep, not a good combination to have together. I realized as they're laying there, but they are going to be our substitutes this year because they have children that will be 100% at home distance learning. So they'll be here when they can. So that's our teaching staff, and those are the classes that they're assigned to. So it's fun to share those with your kiddos. So just to review our mission statement, Shepherd's Flock Preschool believes every child deserves the opportunity for a high-quality educational experience. We offer physical, intellectual, emotional, social, and spiritual nurturing in a safe Christian environment, fostered and supported as part of the mission and ministry of Shepherd of the Lake Lutheran Church. So you can go ahead and just see our philosophy there. I know you're returning families, so you know that these things have not changed from last year at all. So just refamiliarize yourself with that. Our curriculum looks the same. We use creative curriculum as we did in the years past, making sure we touch on their social and emotional development. Their physical, both the large motor and fine motor, the language and literacy, mathematics, science and technology, creative art, and social studies. We will be offering 2 conferences again this year. We have them on the schedule, but knowing things may change, we may go to a virtual conference, and then that way we would be able to just do a quick little Zoom call that we would be able to set up similar, but just virtual versus in person, but that will for sure be something we'll be offering. And then I just noted down there that anytime, it doesn't have to be the designated conference time, that you can have those conversations with the teachers to talk about things that are going really well, things that you want us to be aware of. So just know that we have that open door policy figuratively this year, not as literal, and making sure we're just having that open communication more so than before, just because we won't be seeing you in the hallway or in the classroom in the morning. The program schedule stays the same. We've got our welcome sign-in free play, the first circle, learning station, second circle, snack, large motor, dismissal. The big thing is for the large motor piece, just because the YMCA play zone is not open to us this year, we're going to be doing things in the gym, but we're also going to be using the outside as much as we can for classroom as well as large motor. We've got a couple tables that we're going to be using in the courtyard in the back that we can pull out and do some stations down there using the gazebo that's on the other side of the pond, and just using this beautiful campus that we have to take advantage of as our outdoor classroom. Our school dress code, same as always, dress for play. We do need closed-toed shoes. We do need to make sure that they do wear socks. Label all outdoor clothing when it gets to that time of year, boots, including our school bag. We love those larger size backpacks that feel like they're about the size of your child, but then they can fit everything in there. And then we ask again for those extra change of clothes labeled and stored in a Ziploc bag for them in their backpack. A big thing that's going to look different is going to be that the arrival and dismissal. So I know we've alluded to a lot of this within emails, and we actually put together some videos today of what that process is going to look like. So once that is all formatted, I will send a link so you and your children can take a peek at it of what that will look like when they come curbside, what the process is for us to greet them, taking their temperature, doing a verbal and visual screening, and then exiting the vehicle, and then coming back inside the school. Then we show the dismissal process as well. And I'll click on that here. So the dismissal honestly is just the reverse. We are going to make sure their hands are washed and or sanitized before they leave and gather their coats and backpacks. We will escort them out to you waiting. So whichever order you're pulling up onto that curb will be the order that we dismiss the children. We're going to go ahead and sign them out, just like we'll sign them in on that clipboard for you this year. And then obviously just for safety, no child will be released to an unknown person without prior written authorization and a photo ID. If you are going to be late, especially when we get into those winter months, Seesaw will be that form of communication again that you simply can send a message through there or just call the classroom as well. And that brings me to the next one for absences and or like I said, when you're running a little bit late, either at drop off or pick up, just because we can't have you coming inside ringing the doorbell in the hallway, you can just message us that you'll be there and we can greet you out at the curb. So that is the case for the classroom phone numbers. And again, we'll hook you up with that seesaw, so that will be an easy way to get a hold of us. School cancellation, a big question that we've heard as we all are moving toward the start of school is that bottom part where it says, if ISD 719, which is the district that we follow for the school calendar and weather closings, if they switch to 100% distance learning sometime throughout the school year, will we? The answer is no. Our intention is to remain open and in person the whole entire year. Is that a far-fetched idea? I hope not. I hope we can be realistic and say that we are making all the changes necessary to stay open 100%. But if we do need to close down for a period of time, well, it might do a Zoom with your kids and things like that, but we are not designed, nor is early childhood designed to be something that is conducted as a distance learning option. And ethically, I had a hard time saying I would charge you tuition to give you curriculum to do at home. So that came up with one of our other policies, and I'll get to that in the tuition if we close. But just know we just follow the Prior Lake Savage School District just for weather closings and their calendar, but nothing else. So the partnerships that make us so unique and different is McKenna Crossing and the YMCA, but due to COVID, obviously those partnerships right now are just on hold. We're still trying to figure out for McKenna that we can still make our kids in the class aware of the grandmas and grandpas that live down there and still do some of the activities on our end to hopefully send over to the residents over there so they can still kind of reap that benefit of having the young kids in the school, such as pictures, videos. Maybe we were talking about going outside on the back patio on McKenna's property and having the memory care, if they're able to, open their windows so we could sing some songs for them. So we're going to try to be real creative and think outside the box to keep that partnership strong throughout this transition. Field trips. So at this point, we don't have any out in the community off-site, but with that said, I've been working hard on getting some things on site for us. So we do have a magician scheduled at the end of September as kind of a back to school kickoff. Instead of going to Three Rivers District at Richardson Nature Center like we've done in the past, they are going to be coming to us because of this campus that we have. We're going to be doing bugs here. We could do water sampling. We could be talking about seedlings and harvesting and doing something with apples here. So they're going to be coming here. We're hoping it's the same 2 days that we had originally scheduled in October. Kid Create and High Touch, High Tech Science. They were two that we were offering during our lunch hour as classes that we could sign up for. And because that had to change, we wanted to make sure we kept our relationship with them as well. So Kid Create is going to be coming and doing an art project for them at Christmas time that they'll be making the Christmas presents for you all. And then High Touch, High Tech is going to be coming in February during I Love Science Week and doing some kind of chemistry science shows with us. And so we'll just continue to work on finding different things to bring to our school to make it a fun year for the kids. Tuition is due the first of each month. Maybe some of you have set up online to be able to do that automatically. If not, that's something that I would recommend just for the ease of it. A late fee will be charged this year if tuition is not received by the 10th of the month. We do have a letter from the business office that will be going out to indicate if we hadn't received a payment, maybe by the 7th or 8th, just to give you a heads up warning. But after the 10th, a late fee of $20 will be charged. It looks a little different this year. Instead of having the checks come to me, like you did with Shelley or Miss Alice last year, they can go directly in our Dropbox, but they're going to go to Stacy, who is our business office extraordinaire, who is working with us on a spreadsheet and making sure that she's tracking everything. So that's who those letters will be generated from and come out to you. So look for that. And if you have questions about tuition payments, balances, you can certainly email me as well, and I forward them on to her, but she would be the one that's going to be issuing those statements for you going forward. A 1-month paid notice is required for the withdrawal of your child if things change differently for you throughout the school year. You just need to let us know ahead of time. And that's kind of our notice for that. This is the big change this year, is this new policy we had to create. If Shepherd's Flock needs to close for any reason, we thought COVID, but what if we had a gas leak or a water main break and things like that? We needed to figure out how to be able to compensate. So we said on a regular scheduled class day, families will be allowed to deduct from the next month's tuition or have a reimbursement check at the end of school the cost of those closed days. This reimbursement will happen only when Shepherd's Flock Preschool initiates the closure and preschool is not offered to the family. So if your child is sick, let's say non-COVID, right? So let's just say they're sick with an ear infection or pink eye or something like that, you would be able to just, we wouldn't pay you back for those days. We would not refund that. We would just say that that is just like it was in the past, excuse me. And if you take a vacation during time that we're in session, those kinds of things will not be reimbursed. It's when we initiate that closure. You can always send me more questions about this if you have that. So how to pay for tuition, we can certainly do those checks, like I said, in the Dropbox outside the office, or you can certainly do online. And we've also added the Square possibility. So I can, if you know that you want to pay me, you would send me a Seesaw message or give me a heads up, and I could meet you honestly in the parking lot with my iPad or phone and my Square, and I can take a payment that way as well. So tuition, you all know what the tuition is for this year, and that hasn't changed at all from last year. Parent communication, we are going to be using Seesaw more than we ever have, just because I want to save time and paper and that communication to be able to get to you directly. I'm going to be using the Seesaw app to be able to post our monthly newsletters and calendars rather than paper copies. If you're wanting a paper copy of the calendar newsletter, they'll be posted on the website every month, so you can certainly go there and download that and print it at home. So that will just be the main form of Seesaw. There'll still be some emails and different things that will come out, but just look for that. Facebook, well, that's really little, so I apologize for that. Hopefully most of you have connected to our new Facebook page and liked it and shared it. We just posted a video last night with the pastors and our new director of worship arts to talk about what we as a church and ministry are doing going forward this fall and ways to connect to build our community between the two campuses. So there it says that Seesaw Daily Communication. If you haven't received something today that gave you the heads up of getting connected to Seesaw, that means that I do not have your child's online registration completed to give us that information that we could put into Seesaw. So that means if you didn't get an email to connect to Seesaw, you need to go and do that online registration and the rest of the paperwork if I don't have it yet. If you have questions when you come in next week for Meet the Teacher, Hello Day, whenever yours is scheduled, we can help you navigate that. If you had a child, which this is the returning family, so you should be able to just have that Seesaw app that you used last year. It should just import it again, and it should just pull up your child's new classroom. Miss Jessie is the Seesaw goddess, honestly, and so she has set up everything for us. So everything should be ready to go for your child's class. Volunteer opportunities look very different this year. We just aren't able at this point to have parents come in and help us in the classroom, which is very sad for us because not only is it great company and great help, but it's fun to have you in there with your kids. But there are just a couple opportunities you can still take advantage of. One is the Parent Advisory Committee, or otherwise known as PAC. We meet once a month. I just put that in the September newsletter, a little bit more about that and when our first meeting is. So if you're interested, let me know. We also have a prayer team that if you're interested on that, we ask people to just come together as a small group that we'd be able to do, or we could also do it virtually, that just prays for the community prayers that we have here at Shepherd's Flock, either within our teachers and families, and even the greater community. That is just a power of prayer to come together. And then the volunteer form that you would have completed on the orientation online link, we'll have that indicator If you still want to do some cutting projects for us, or if you are in a occupation that you want to share with the kids during Community Helper Week, things like that, we will reach out to you as the year progresses of your specialty in that volunteer column, and we will definitely partner with you on that. Health and safety. I would advise you, if nothing else this year, that we err on the side of caution for everything related to health and safety. I think we just have to be very aware that our kids are not prepping for ACT tests while they're in preschool. So if they miss 1 or 2 days, it is hard, but it is okay. So I would just caution you, as if in the past you would have sent them if they had a really full nose, droopy eyes, things like that, I would ask you to just make that executive decision to keep them at home, given everything that we're going through. With that said, in the parent handbook, which is now currently uploaded on the website in its entirety, because usually in person we would hand those to you tonight, we have it ready to go on the website for you to read through. It's under Handbook and Forms tab. So take some time for some great reading this evening or in the next couple of days to go ahead and go through that whole handbook. There's some new guidelines listed in our health and safety and illness section, having to do, even if your child is more lethargic than normal or has a hard time just kind of catching their breath, things like that. Those are the things we'd want for you to take some time, reevaluate it before you decide if it's in the best interest of your child, but also in the best interest of our bigger class as a whole for them to be here. So that's the biggest piece. I just want you to be aware of that. Again, we continue to stay in peanut-free facility. It should say just nut-free facility. Sorry about that. Parking lot safety won't be as a big concern because you're dropping off curbside. What we want you to do is when you drop off curbside, we're going to be coming in from the YMCA side of the parking lot. So coming from the west, facing the east as you're dropping off. So not asking you to rearrange your car seats in your car, but just being aware of, we want your child to exit curbside. So some of you that have twins or you've got another child or minivans and things like that, just be aware of the configuration in your cars for them to be able to ease, helping them unbuckle if need be, and then having them come out curbside for the car. And then it will be the same way for dismissal, circling around the same way. Yeah, so just making sure about that. The site relocation stays the same, which is the Links building, and that is on the west side of the YMCA parking lot. It is across the street. Now there's some apartment buildings that have been built, but it's tucked in the parking lot of that apartment building section, and that is where we would relocate if we needed to evacuate the building. The security door code, just in case you would need to come in for any reason, or if there's an emergency we need you to come in, or if in fact we can open our doors differently. The security code for this year is 2021 and then pound. So make note of that, 2021 pound. Pencil boxes, you should have all received an email regarding how we needed to shift for that as well. We're doing individual pencil boxes in order to mitigate that spread of more germs within the shared items that are harder to disinfect. So appreciate your flexibility with that. Behavior guidance, we always do our positive reinforcement modeling redirection as our first and foremost way to change some behavior that may not be what we're wanting in the classroom. We don't use timeouts, we use breaks. So it's just talking about how to self-regulate and how to have those kids get in control of their emotions and body to be able to take breaks and maybe take a couple deep breaths walk away from the situation, maybe take a break in the beanbag and read a book and things like that. If there's persistent or unacceptable behavior, those are the things that we obviously talk to you ahead of time, and we come up with a plan because you are a partner with us. And so we come up with a plan to talk about what are some of the behaviors that we want to decrease and some of the behaviors that we want to increase, and we make those plans together. We do have some special days that we are going to continue. It's going to look, again, that's my theme. It's going to look different, but we're still going to do it. So we, instead of the gorillas, because we changed our logo, we are shepherd's flock, and our logo is with the little lambs. So we actually have these adorable white fluffy lambs that are now the precious instead of a gorilla. So we'll still have the child be able to do a precious backpack once a year to have a week with them. We have 2 lambs per classroom, so it allows us to launder and disinfect in between uses. So that will be an exciting thing for the kids. That will be familiar yet a little different. The sharing bag, we have some new sharing bags with our logos and such. We're hoping that each kid will have 1 or 2 times a year. We also have it staggered for distribution rather than right away the same day. It's going to be staggered a little differently so we can launder in between. And the birthday bag, we could never not do birthdays. We will continue to do full and half day birthdays and celebrate those as well. Scholastic book orders will be distributed throughout the year like we've done in the past, knowing that they can benefit us from free books as well as some book bucks that we can use and purchase some different materials for the classroom. There's going to be a back to school Usborne book fair in the upper path that will start this week for a full day, but then it will be up and running for your classes for next week during Meet the Teacher and the Hello Days. We also, Miss Amy, who is extraordinarily gifted in crafts and being so amazing with how I give her a vision and she's able to make it happen. We have such a cute photo booth available for you this year. So those back to school pictures, we want to make sure you capture them here with us. And so there's a photo booth that will be set up with direction how to get there. So you can take those back to school first day pictures here and take advantage of that during the Meet the Teacher and Hello Days as well. So knowing we have gone through this fairly quickly, it looks different than in the years past. Most of the forms you have or should have filled out online that we have typically done in person for orientation forms. So it's the snack fund, the field trip fees. We did ask for a once $10 PPE fund to help with what we've all put in place. And then there was the optional t-shirt since it's a new logo. That's completely up to you. The kids can still wear their red shirts for this year as well. Those things to be completed. There was also the online link to go through if you wanted to be part of the school directory and things like that. So this link that's up on the screen now is the new link, and that is one that you would typically have a checkoff list in person to complete. And so you're able to go onto this link and you should be able to then send it and email it to me like all the other forms you've been doing all summer. And that way then I can acknowledge that you have gone through the orientation and in agreement with those things that we're putting in place, and I can put that in your child's file then. So that is what we have for you tonight. Like I said, we did the videos for the drop off and pickup, so those will be coming so you can see those with your children and anyone else that's going to be helping with the carpooling. And hopefully you all have also received the information about your specific time slot for Meet the Teacher on the Sign Up Genius. The Hello Days, you should have received an email this week with Group A and Group B. And knowing that that first day of school is March, oh my goodness, it's not March, it's September 14th and 15th. And I think that's the gist of what I have for you tonight. So I know you can add, you should be able to add in the chat if you have any questions for me, because we're only at about a half hour, which is great. And so I've left about 10 minutes for us to go over any questions that you may have that might benefit the bigger group.
Can you tell us again which way we were supposed to be driving to have the car seat on the right side?
Absolutely. So we're asking for the traffic flow to be coming in. So you're going to be coming to the curb from the YMCA side. So you're going to start on the west side of the parking lot and drive toward the church in McKenna. So you're going to be making it, it'll be almost counterclockwise because we want to know where we're receiving the kids. So if your driver's side is closest to the street, the passenger door is closest to the curb. That'll just help with traffic flow.
And I can't remember, did we pay the first month already with last year or not?
Yeah, good question. So I think everyone was a little bit different. So what we usually do though is ask for, when you did register, you should have paid the $75 non-refundable registration fee. And then we do ask for that first month tuition. So it should have been paid at that time. So your first tuition statement will go out in September, indicating what is owed for October.
I have one more question. You said if we didn't receive the link to Seesaw to just email you? Or
yes. So
does that mean we're missing something for sure?
Well, so what we were doing was taking our registration forms that were on the online registration, which is the long forms that talk about the emergency contact list, their dentist, their healthcare provider, all those questions if they have allergies, who are your two emergency contacts, all of that. If that hasn't been filled out and generated from our end, then we didn't have the proper information to then get what we needed to put into Seesaw. So if you didn't receive a link today, then definitely just email me so then we can do some digging of why that would be. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, I have a question about that Seesaw. I'm pretty sure I completed that registration, and I did not receive a link, but I did open Seesaw and like his new class is already there. So does that mean it is completed already?
Should be then. If you have access to, did you have access because of last year?
Yes.
Okay. So, so I wonder then, because of the returning families, I wonder if what I've said about not getting an email. So, that's a good question. So maybe as returning families, that is already in there and you should then just see your child's new class. And let's just say if you still haven't received an email or can't access the Seesaw, then definitely get a hold of me.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I just have one more quick question. Did you say we can set up an automatic payment, or you said we need to do a check or that Square?
Nope, sorry, you can set up an automatic payment. So that's going to be on that website page. The tab says online payment.
Okay.
On there, and on the very bottom, it gives you the directions of what to do to set up that automatic payment.
And that was just
go ahead.
I'm sorry, that was just like through your checking account, right? And then for Square, can you do that, like set it up? I don't have Square, so I don't know if you just set it up through a credit card or you do that through a check as well.
Nope, so during Square acceptance, I can just swipe your credit card.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It allows me to swipe it, it stores it in there, it goes directly into the account that our tuition goes into, and then it sends you an automatic receipt. So that's the availability. I don't know about, maybe someone else can answer. I haven't looked at it so closely, that the online tuition to do automatic, I didn't realize if it was only for a checking account or a bank account versus credit card. Does someone else know that?
I think if I remember, Miss Ann, I think it was both. I think that you have the option to enter credit card information or bank information.
Okay, that's what I thought too.
When I looked, yeah, I think so.
Okay, So hopefully that could answer your question. I would go to the website, to the far right tab, it says online tuition payment. And if you go all the way to the bottom of that screen that has all the classes listed and the snack fund and all of that, it should have the last block would be how to set that up.
Miss Ann, can you go back to the teachers?
Yes.
For the Tuesday, Thursday, 9-10.
Tuesday, Thursday, 9-10.
Miss, okay,
Are.
Miss Jen and Emily. Okay,
Look at how cute they are.
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi, we have a quick question on the labeling for supplies. Since we're sending these pencil boxes, first of all, what all is going to be contained in those pencil boxes, and how much labeling of the items inside the pencil boxes are you looking to have
Right.
to keep those separate?
Great question. So an email should have been sent out. It was, and hopefully you received it. There were two. One was just a standard supply list, and then I had to revise that to say a school supply list for the pencil box for each class. That was sent out, I want to say in July. And then the pencil box itself just needs to be labeled with first and last name. I'm not asking you to label every pencil, marker, and things like that. The things I would label would be the pair of scissors and the actual pencil box.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I was just wondering if there was anything on those supply lists that you guys could use. I mean, with everything going on, is there anything extra that if we are able to help provide for the classrooms to keep them safe and clean, is there anything else that you guys have thought of that we could either donate or go above and beyond with the list that we could, you know, however we can help?
Oh, thank you. You know, I think we're doing so well. So because we were asking for that extra fund this year, that PPE fund, that has helped us be able to buy the thermometers that we'll be using and buy some extra gloves, extra cloth face masks if we needed it. Because we're attached to the church, the disinfectants that we've always used, it met the criteria that we needed. So they supply all of those things. We don't use the wet wipes and things for our cleaning, so we don't need those. And I think we have enough coming in for paper towels and Kleenexes and napkins and things like that. But knowing how the year might progress, we might have this conversation again after the new year that we may need to restock some things. And then I think we would probably reach out to all of you to see if you could help out again. But I feel at this time, we're sitting really great with what we have in place, and I don't think so, but I appreciate that.
Sounds good.
I have a question pertaining to.
Oh, hello.
Ann, can you hear me?
I can kind of hear you.
Okay, so I sent you an email. I don't know if you received it. So if you did not save pictures and videos from last year, does that mean that they are gone?
Oh, hi, Victoria. I will certainly follow up with Jessie about that. I did message after I saw your email, and I will ask her again if there's a way that they're archived somewhere that we can access them.
Okay, yeah, because I only got to half and then I totally forgot. So thank you and I appreciate that.
Okay, yes, I will follow up with her.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
I do have one more quick question. I'm trying to recollect when my son had gone there previously. When you guys would kind of go between different rooms, the kiddos would kind of hold hands to kind of stay together. Is that still going to be happening? Are you still going to be having them hold hands, and or is there a different way that that's going to be?
So you mean when they move like from the room to the gym and things like that?
Yes. Yep.
So what we have in place, so we're not going to not have your kids love being here. And so we want them to be, and I will choose my words like from National Geographic. We always joke about this at my house. We want them to be in their natural habitats. So I do want them to feel like they can be loving and sharing with their peers. And so with that said, we did buy some little Velcro, I call them sit spots. And so in the hallway between the classes, while we're lining up to head to the playground or the gym, we will have them almost kind of staggered, the 20 dots, so they're not standing right behind somebody, so they won't feel that lovely breath on their back of their neck and playing with someone's hair and things like that in that space, while we wait for the other kids to finish washing hands and going to the bathroom. Now, the great thing about this is that when we open the door and we start to exit, we're going to teach your kids how to zipper merge and figure that out now before they get on like Highway 13 and 169 when they're older drivers. So they're going to figure out the zipper merge and being able to get from those spots into a line as they proceed out the door. And then everything else will just be kind of the same as normal.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
At one point, one of the communications had mentioned that maybe within a class of 18 or 20, you'd be dividing the class into 2 pods to kind of rotate through the room. Are you going to keep them together now, or are they still going to be divided in the room?
A good question. So truly, the room can be divided within 3 sections. And so what we're going to try to do, they'll still be in one big room, but we're going to be able to say, and it's going to be a teacher's kind of choice of how that flow will go. But we are going to try, if one group might be at the back doing letter of the week, another group might be at circle time, or one might be heading out to the playground while somebody else has snacks. So it's really going to be up to the teachers how they want that flow to go. I would just ask you as parents, if you have a preference, go ahead and tell us that. So then we're making it more comfortable for you to have the kids here. If you're okay with the fact that they could still have 20 around the circle time, then we might do that. But if you prefer us to split them into the 2 pods within the same classroom, we can certainly do that as well. And truly the pods would not be every day the same kids, just because how we do the drop off, the first 10 kids is dependent on how you pull up on the curb. So those first 10 kids could be pod 1 for day 3, right? But then the next time you come, it might be maybe 2 or 3 kids of the same group. So they still would have that ability to mix and mingle with everybody in the class.
Perfect. Thank you very much for answering the question. As I say, we have lots of buddies in the class. It would make us sad to not see them. So that's perfect.
Oh yes, absolutely. No, we're not. And we have dividers that we would never close those sections off. No.
Hey, favor to ask, can you show us the 9 o'clock teacher?
Yes.
Thank you. Take a picture.
So it's Miss Kelly. We have a very small class right now. And Miss Melissa is going to be kind of our backup, and I'll scroll down to her. She's doing our afternoon. So she's the one on the right. She's the one on the right. She would be helping with Miss Kelly in the morning before she goes to the afternoon in the full day.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have one other silly question. I missed it before, with their face shields, will they be wearing those just at pickup and drop off, or also in the classroom?
Yep, we've chosen to make it mandatory for us to have face shields on all day. So they can still see our whole face, but we as teachers just wanted to have that extra measure of protection, just because some of us do teach more than one class. Anything else? If you do come up with something, for sure, send an email to me and I will do my best in the next day or 2 to get back to you.
One quick thing, you had alluded to it in an email. I just wanted to make sure I understood correctly. For Hello Day and Meet the Teacher, I assume you had asked us to wear masks. I assume that was parents wearing masks. Did you want the kiddos as well, or?
So again, for sure, parents, the kids 5 and under are not mandatory in our space. So that will be really up to you as your family's preference of whether you want them to wear one or not.
Okay, my son refuses to wear one right now, so I was gonna have.
Well, there you go. How perfect.
Thank you.
So yes, they're not mandatory for the kiddos to wear, but we as adults need to have a face covering.
For Meet the Teacher and Hello Day, do we need to just make sure it's just parent and student, nobody else?
Right. So typically for Meet the Teacher, it's always, well, you have in the past been able to bring siblings, but because of our space and the numbers that we want in there, we just want one or both parents and the child for Meet the Teacher. Then Hello Day is a little bit different, that we just need the child and only one caregiver, because if we have a class of 20 and we split them already in 2, if we have the 10 kids and 1 caregiver, we're at 20 again, and that's what we want to cap at. So Meet the Teacher, definitely, if there's 2 of you that want to come, please come, and then Hello Day is just 1. I didn't mean to leave my face up there. Sorry about that. All right, well, I'm looking at the time and it's 6:16. And so if there aren't any other questions, I'm gonna kind of wrap this up so then I can get ready for the next one at 6:30. But again, thanks so much, not only for your time tonight, but just for believing in us and what we have in place here to be able to continue to provide the program that you know and love. And I think you're going to be so pleased with what we have in place, knowing that that set curriculum and programming will be stellar, but the other things that we have in place, we had your child in mind as we created that, to make sure that it was still a very welcoming and, like I said, a safe place to be. So we're so excited that you're coming back and joining us. And don't hesitate to send me information with questions and anything else that you need. The other big piece is there's a handful that will be receiving a call from me in the next couple of days if I haven't received some of the registration information that I really just want to take care of, that you can certainly bring with you next week in person, or feel free to email those, but I will make some calls out to some of you just to make sure we've got all of our ducks in a row to welcome them back. All right, well, if there's nothing else, I again thank you, and you guys have the good night, the rest of this beautiful evening, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Oh, look at all those fun faces. I can see Preston waving, and I see Tiff. Oh, Trevor just got up quick. Hi, Tiffany.
What are you doing? Hi, Miss Ann. Eric's here.
Oh, hi, Jenna. How are you?
Good. We can't figure out the video, but Eric's trying to wave to you.
I'm waving back. You can't see me either. Oh, I see Joe. Hey, Joe. I'm so excited to have this group back. Jesse and I are just tickled.
Oh, Corey and I just made the biggest surprise faces when we saw Miss Jessie was back with you.
Yes, it was kind of purposeful.
Yes, we're so happy to have you both back.
Yes, we're so excited. I see Naomi's down there. Say hi to Charlotte. I see Dustin, Naya's going to be there, and Katie with Adam. And I don't know who this Kristen is. I'm sorry. Hi, Natalie. How are you? I'm so excited.
It is beyond excited.
Oh. Oh, Claire. Hi, Kristen.
Really loud. Say, see you next week, Miss Ann.
See you next week, Miss Ann.
Oh, I cannot wait for hugs. Teacher's daughter's in today to help make the video, and she's like the first little person we've seen in here. So we all were like, can we hug you? Can we hug you, Grace? We're just so excited. Well, you guys enjoy the last couple of days here, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye. See you next week.
All right. Bye.
Oh, so good.